Hello, fellow elders. How are you? I'm rather upbeat today, actually, mostly because I've been really focusing on my cello and my viola music practices, and forcing myself to do them has been the hardest thing over. Well, I didn't have a bow for my cello, so that was a problem, but also not being strict enough about making the time to do it has, you know, affected my happiness level. And now that I'm making myself do, I mean, I've got 4 practice sessions a day. Unfortunately, I'm focusing overly on cello and viola, and I did 2 cello practices yesterday and 2 viola practices, which is neglectful of the piano and the double bass. And I am trying to sort that out. But I'm just so into the music that I'm currently playing on my viola and cello, I've been taken to another place. Anyway, I was thinking about, my mental health, and my mental health is better than it's ever been. Certainly better than it was during menopause, which was just grim, guys, totally grim. And now I do have little bouts of anxiety, I suppose you'd call them, and worry about, you know, normal things like dying. I mean, do you have that? I've really noticed that actually, the older I get, the more I realise that it's likely that I'm going to drop dead soon. Although I'm only 63, 64 next month, in a few weeks actually. But it's funny, isn't it? Because once you get past about 40, no, once you get past about 55, hey, once you get past menopause, you're in the final trimester of life, and that anything could strike you down. But this is why I love doing my music so much, because I don't want to be struck down before I've become a more proficient player of my instruments. I want to be more proficient actually at everything, writing my books and playing my instruments. And if I was struck down by the Grim Reaper at this particular time, I'd be quite annoyed. But I wouldn't be as annoyed as I would have been before the menopause. Hello, darling. The cat's come to join us, my little Romeo. Um, so yes, quite interesting, isn't it? How our motives change for sort of personal happiness and personal development. I just think if only I'd had this rich desire for personal development when I was, 18. Imagine what I could have done with my life. But of course, I didn't have it then. And, as a person with, on the spectrum, there's no way when I look back that I could have really fitted in a more productive way with formal education than I did. Because now I can see when I'm learning things that I'm actually probably a little bit special needs. That's not to say all people on the spectrum have special needs. That's a blanket assumption. I'm not saying that. And I was certainly able to fool lots of people that I was a good student with my masking. But actually, I do learn in a very odd way. And maybe a lot of that is about self-motivation and, the sort of kick against being told or being forced to fit in a box of traditional educational methods. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, now I want to learn. I want to learn. I want to learn. I've really got this bug for it. And the same with writing. I'm really enjoying writing now, but I've neglected my writing and my music over the last few months to focus on social media. And I think it was a mistake in a lot of ways. Nothing's ever wasted, is it? But it's taken far too much of my day. Almost all of my day has been involved in creating content. And content creators are factory fodder. That's what you are. You're just factory fodder for somebody else, not actually for yourself. And they tell us you've got to update every day, you've got to upload every day, you've got to be relevant, you've got to be, the algorithm has to like you, this. I mean, it's a non-starter for happiness. Oh, off you go, cat's disappeared. So certainly for mental health reasons, I'm just thinking that's not satisfying. Doing social media is not satisfying me. You can leave it all there. Everybody knows who I am now. Everybody who was ever going to know who I am through social media knows who I am now through social media. I mean, you can't please all of the world all at once on your social medias, unfortunately. If only you could, if only we weren't relying on algorithms to read algorithmic content, because that's all that's happening. The algorithm is feeding itself. The algorithm makes you more algorithmic and less human. And that's just, I mean, it's bloody boring, guys. It's really boring. So I'm not one for enjoying boredom. I don't find boredom pleasant at all. In fact, I think I'm allergic to it. So a bit more focus on, what I want to do. So I made a fascinator the other day, and I'm not going to release a clothes line for the Elderescence project. I'll be doing another book. I like to do the books around September so they're ready for Christmas. So I will be doing an Elderescence Academy sewing and recycling book. I've already done one, but I'm going to do another. But not over summer. Summer's hot. Summer is free. Summer is hanging out, going to see family a bit more, taking mum out to the marina, looking at yachts. Summer is about, I feel that this is what I need at my time of life. Summer is about a much more relaxed attitude to life and lots of painting of landscapes. I'm going to take my watercolor and my sketchbook everywhere I go so that I can just, doodle away. And yes, that I will be putting those on my TV channel, so you'll be able to keep up, follow what I'm doing. But the music, I don't know if I want to do all this teaching content unless I've got a human being at the other end that I can actually teach. Do you see what I mean? When you're just doing it, you're teaching to nobody, recording it, and then it goes up onto your platform. And you don't know who's going to ever see it. You don't know if they're actually interested in learning an instrument. They might be there for an algorithmic reason because the algorithm shoved it in their face. You see what I mean? You just don't know. And I'm wondering if that's what I want out of, my music. My music is so deeply important to me and special, and it's about communication. It's about communication with another human, not an algorithm. And I'm finding this sort of way of making content really, or should I say this way of making music really unsatisfactory. So I want to focus on making music that is my own, not for anybody else. So I'm feeling a bit selfish, I think. It's not really selfish, is it? But I mean, the best reason to make anything is for yourself. So even the clothes that I'm going to make for September's launch and the book are going to be clothes that I really, really, really like. Do you see what I mean? And stuff that I would want to do, or even if I wouldn't necessarily want to wear it, because, a woman of a certain age doesn't want to wear certain clothes. But, well, that sweeping comment, I didn't mean that. But you get my drift. I mean, I'm not going to wear clothes that are made out of recycled trainers, for example, but I would really enjoy making that garment. So, it's more about the creative process and doing something fantastic. And I love all this recycling that I'm doing. It's just fabulous at the moment. But yeah, summer, you want to be out, you want to be outside. So I'm going to focus maybe on that. And of course, being outside gives you that connection with the landscape. And I really, really want to focus on some en plein air experiments with my sketch pad. So I think that's really going to be quite good fun. So making music, more experimenting with painting. But I will tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to start. I've been really held back from figurative painting because I can't afford to go to do courses with models. It's really held me back. So I was researching about doing self-portraits in a mirror, because of course when you do them in a mirror, you're seeing there's a slight difference because you're seeing things the wrong way round. So when you flip them, that would be the right way round for other people to look at you. And we can flip them now. We can do it very easily in software. We just flip it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be exploring the possibility of drawing and painting my figure, me as a model, in different outfits, in different positions, but every day. So sort of, start the morning with some sketching. So it's really about studio practice. So music for the afternoons and figurative drawing and painting for the mornings. And I think that's going to be really fun for us. But I'm not going to do them in a way that is a lesson, because for all the reasons I've just explained, I'm just not happy doing that. But more of a like a drawing diary. I thought that would be really lovely. And we could all do that, actually, couldn't we? And then, if I really get into it, and I think lots of people are interested in that, if I get some feedback, I will upload everything onto the blog, or to my YouTube. YouTube, I may as well do YouTube, eh? Upload these experimental drawing sessions to YouTube and to my various other blogs and what have you, and all through summer, well, actually starting this weekend, see what happens. Just see what happens with sort of experimenting in a really creative way. And then I think in September I start uni anyway, and I think that would just take me really beautifully into going to West Dean College, where I'm going to be learning how to make instruments. And I'm very, very, very excited about that. It's going to be super fun. Really, really can't wait. So yeah, how exciting. That's why I'm feeling upbeat, because I've got a plan, because I know what I want to do. And if you're interested in the music side of things, I do put a lot of my videos up on my Lounges TV, so you can go over there. But I'm really not for making this some kind of big community where I have to do loads of social media promo. I want to share my practice, some of it, but I don't want to be, because I'm competing with the big people, the big content creators like Tone Base, who, there's 20 ads a day I see of that, more, maybe 100 ads of Tone Base I see on my social media every day. And you just think, right, well, okay, that's why, that's what you need to do. That's why these people are so successful, because they're spending an absolute fortune on advertising. And that's way out of it's way out of my comfort zone. It's way out of my league. And I don't think it works for me. I don't think it works for a composer, for a start, remembering that I am a composer. But we'll see. I mean, I'm prone to change my mind. So maybe after a few weeks, I'll be like, no, I'm absolutely going back to that idea. But there's a lot of experimenting goes on, isn't there? In today's market, in today's way of digital communication, people are always well, I know I am, and that big advertising companies do it, and they do it on YouTube as well. They say, let's do a trial with a thumbnail on your video, and then we can use another thumbnail and compare it, see which one went the best. And what you're doing again is you're actually just you're the factory fodder for this huge business that is YouTube. And before you know it, you're doing all the work for them. I mean, these companies, Facebook and YouTube and all the other companies, the big bods, they're they're farming all of your interactions and your shopping experiences and everything, absolutely everything that you do. They're farming it. They want the data. They want the data. And this makes me feel a bit dirty. Do you know what I mean? Makes me feel dirty, like I've been used. Anyway, that's enough for now. Lots and lots of stories coming up. I'm going to do another couple of episodes of my book of immersion. And there'll be a prayer as well, which is a performance art piece for the Reverend Bloom. And there will be some other stuff too, because I'm in a chatty mood. If you want to find out more about all the stuff I do, just pop over to my personal website, which is iServalan.com.